Chapter 1 of Cunning Workmen. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Cunning Workmen by Pansy. Chapter 1. The Corner Class. Mr. Robert Hammond stood before his glass brushing his hair. Very fine hair it was, and it crowned a handsome head. Having arranged it to his liking, Mr. Hammond proceeded to brush his clothes. Little specks of dust were flying hither and thither, intent on their usual mischievous errands, and the most that Mr. Hammond did was to set a few more of them in commotion. But as that seemed the proper thing to do to complete his toilet, he conscientiously did it. A very firm, emphatic knock sounded at his door, and, in answer to his permission to enter, a small being, done up in white furs, with a blue feather on her head, around her hat of course, stepped daintily in, and spoke rapidly and to the point. "Uncle Rob, the bell has said, 'Come quick, come quick, come quick,' until I'm sick of hearing it, and Miss Ellsworth and Miss Warren and lots of others have gone by, and I'm quite most certain sure that we'll be late." "Just so," said Uncle Rob, and he proceeded in a very leisurely manner to the putting on of his rubbers. Miss Marian drummed with her small, gloved fingers on his toilet table during the operation, and repeated her assurances of tardiness, and finally, with infinite satisfaction, saw him draw on his gloves and take up his books. Once in the street, the keen air did for Marian what her forebodings of lateness failed to do. Her uncle quickened his steps until her small feet were obliged to break into a decided run to keep pace with him, and a very brief space of time it took to get down Queen Street and come out on Harvard Square, where the great stone church stood, on which the deep-throated bell was loudly repeating its call for workers. "You see, little May, that the bell is still calling," Mr. Hammond said as they mounted the steps. "Course," said Marian, "that's what I told you. It called and we didn't come, but we're here now. I don't see why it doesn't stop." Her uncle laughed. "It is just possible that it thinks someone else is coming, and would like to know the time," he said pleasantly. "Then I should think they might have found it out," said Marian positively. "Why, Uncle Rob, it has struck 10 times while you were getting ready, I do believe. I most had to put my hands to my ears, it tried me so." To this Uncle Robert made no reply. He had held a great many conversations in his life with Miss Marian, and having discovered that she was certain to have the last word anyway, it was just as well to stop then as at any future time. Besides, they were at the schoolroom door. Marian dodged through an open door at one side, over which hung, "Come in, little lambs," in dainty lettering, and straightway there was a great buzzing of little tongues, and a nodding of blue and white and scarlet plumes, as the 20 or so "little lambs" welcomed the newcomer. Mr. Hammond went around back of the rows and rows of seats arranged in semicircles, until he reached the class in the west corner, behind a post, and under a window that commanded a view of the passers-by. The people in that semicircle were in various stages of unrest. It was a bewildering sort of class. If the superintendent studied to discover how many phases of character and grades of society he could group in a number 7, he had made a decided success. Each and every one of them deserves an introduction. In the corner sat Larry Bates. Boys like Larry always do get in the corner, exactly behind the aforesaid post. Larry had bright eyes and curly hair, and a brain keen enough for anything earthly except to commit to memory a Sabbath school lesson. That he had never yet accomplished. Larry's home was a study in its way, if one had time for it. How not to do it was the art that was carried nearly to perfection in that household. To be free and easy, to go where one liked, to do what one wanted to do at all times, without regard to other people's desires or necessities, this
Sample complete. Ready to continue?